Yo, Cantor here. I had this great idea while looking for a new trash horror manga to read and make fun of. How about I look up what's the lowest rated manga on Mal? And after looking up what the 10 lowest rated mangas on Mal are, I noticed that I already had read 3 of them, so I thought, well, fuck it, might as well read the rest. And in the process, I just wanted to make this little video out of it, cause nobody else should have to read this fucking garbage. So, without any further ado, I read the 10 lowest rated manga on Mal, so you don't have to. Roll credits. Number 10. And starting at number 10, we have Revenge Game, sitting at 5.30, which is pretty low for Mal standards. And this is exactly what I was looking for. We already have a trash horror manga here with the tags mystery, horror, romance, and shoujo. You can expect a few more of those later on. The description reads as follows. One day, Matsui Sakura receives an invitation to a revenge game and decides to attend. At the location indicated, she ends up locked in a dorm-like building with 4 of her classmates. It appears that the revenge game is being run by a wealthy classmate, Sayonchi, who was bullied so badly by some of the students that it ruined his life. Now he is taking his revenge in a brutal game that allows him to have one of his former tormentors killed each morning. However, Sakura, a lonely, quiet orphan girl, does not understand why she is there, unless it was due to her inaction in stopping the bullying of others. She's also the only one who received an invitation while the others were abducted or tricked into attending. What is the final purpose of this game? So, starting out strong with this one. It's a simple enough death game with nothing fun or new to it. The kids have to figure out who the Mind Master, is that a translation mistake? Is that even a word? They said mastermind once, I don't know whatever. Is and kill him to survive, but every morning at 8 one of them gets killed. So obviously the first thing they do is go to bed. I mean, well, what else would you do? In the night, one of the other girls wakes the main girl up and establishes her character, with cooking and shit, just to be killed off first, cause that always happens. After that, the other girl finds a key that the main girl found in an envelope at the start or something, I can't really remember, and opens a door that the audience doesn't get to see. She tells the dark-haired guy what's in it, and that's that. They all just go to sleep again. I shit you not, literally 3 things happened the entire day. I don't know, but I think I would do a bit more if I was in a life or death situation and had to find out who the fucking mind masters are, but whatever. The next day, the dark-haired guy is chosen to die. He tries to kill the main girl, but she is saved by the light-haired guy. Yay! Then the other girl lures them into the room, and we get a tragic backstory reveal for the main girl. Another night passes, and after a while, the other girl gets chosen to die, and there were 2 corpses flung on her and she gets shot, so that's that. And we get the big reveal that there were 2 Mind Masters all along, main girl and light-haired guy. So that means that the game was pretty much unwinnable for the 3 others from the start, but who fucking cares, they weren't the main characters anyways. The mastermind turns out to have loved the main girl all along because of a misunderstanding and is holding the sister of the other guy hostage. And I just gotta say, this misunderstanding is kinda hilarious. So the main girl hates her birthday because her parents were killed on her birthday by a robber. And one day in school, her friends were making her a birthday cake for her birthday because it was her birthday. And she was freaking out about it and ran out of the room just yelling, so her friends weren't her friends anymore. And the fucking mastermind, not the mastermind, the planner, was being bullied at the time and thought that she was running to get a teacher for him because he was bullied, but she didn't even realize that he was being bullied, so I don't know, and that's cause he loves her because of that. I can't. The main girl doesn't love the planner though, so she tries to get away from him, but he is fighting with her, and then the light-haired guy steps in, but they lose the fight and wake up in another room. Bad guy starts telling a story that reveals that the light-haired guy's father killed the main girl's parents. Oh no. But she can't get herself to kill him, cause honestly why wouldn't she, cause he isn't his father? So bad guy kills the light-haired guy's sister and then seems to kill him. Afterwards, main girl attacks bad guy and is killed by him. Oh no. But other guy survives cause of his knife in his pocket with which he planned to kill the planner with. And then he actually does kill him. Yay! And afterwards, he puts the knife in the hands of the corpse of the main girls and proceeds to kill himself with it. Yeah, I don't know. So the story sucks. It's generic and boring, and we've seen it like a million times. So the five main characters, or I wouldn't even call them main characters, were pretty boring, and the antagonist is kind of a joke. His tragic backstory is that his grandma thought that he was a pussy because he didn't want to go to school anymore because he was bullied, so she disinherited him. Fucking amazing motivation. Light-haired guy is actually the best motivated character. He bullies the bad guy because he thinks that the dark-haired guy got paid by him to take photos of his little sister. Somehow he stops bullying the dark-haired guy afterwards, because I don't know. And the other characters don't get fleshed out as well, and the main girl is just a pretty fucking generic main girl. The art is pretty bad as well. The proportions of the characters are often kinda just fucked up. Like, their torsos are just long as hell, and I just don't know why. And it's not just the art style, because sometimes the proportions are normal, but other times they just weird again. I don't know. The backgrounds are also just kind of boring, nothing really stands out. Overall, I mean, the art is kind of bad, but it's not that bad. You just get over it. It's just kind of subpar. You just kind of go, yikes, and forget about it in 10 minutes. Overall, it's just pretty bad. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. I had hoped that it would be funny bad, but it wasn't even funny bad. It was just kind of boring bad. I guess the villain's storyline was kind of funny, that his grandma just yeeted him out of the family because he was bullied. But other than that, it's just kind of boring, really. Gets a solid 0.8 out of 10. Don't read it. It should probably be rated way lower than 5.3, and it probably deserves to be on the top 10 worst mangas of all time list. Number 9. And coming in at number 9, we have Mayo no Moribito, or Guardian of the Witch, at 5.27. So after that Trainwreck, uvu. Trainwreck, it can almost only get better. And I say almost because I know some of the ones that are coming up, and oof. Anyways, the next one is a shonen manga, actually published by Shonen Jump Weekly. It has the tags action, fantasy, magic, and shonen. I probably won't go to too much detail with this one, because it's a shonen and it's pretty standard. So, the description reads as: in a world full of evils, humanity's only hope is the inhuman power of the witches. The city of Bern is on the front line of the demons, and there to protect it is the witch Manasfa and the kingdom's strongest knight Fafner. But what cruel fate awaits these two? A dark fantasy story featuring witches and knights begins now. So far so good. Sounds like a pretty standard shonen, some Attack on Titan, some Demon Slayer-ish elements. Let's just get into it. And the first volume starts out pretty okay, nothing too crazy. The first few chapters are used to introduce the main characters, the witch Mafasna, her guardian Fafner, and her maid Nata. They are pretty standard shonen protagonists. The witch even has one of those classics "I eat a lot" cliches. They have to protect the city they live in from the evil creatures, the evils. Yep, the evils. Japanese people, I swear. At the end of the first chapter, it is revealed that Fafner's real purpose is to kill Mafasna, since the witch gains her powers from a weird fusion with a girl and an evil, and she pretty much has an expiration date. He decides against it though, and they flee the city. Fafner decides that he wants to help Mafasna turn into a normal girl again, since she would die otherwise, and they hear from the maid that there is a retired witch up in a city in the north, so they want to get up there. The most efficient way to get to the city in the north is by trekking through 7 other cities, and they just start going and end up in the first city. The rest of the volume is pretty much just one fight with a guardian witch dude that was sent to kill them. The fight itself was pretty alright. A bit too much talking in my opinion, but shonen fights be shonen fights. The next volume starts out with a little training arc with an ex-guardian they meet along the way. It mostly teaches them how to use their powers together to fight as a guardian witch do, nothing crazy. The second half of the volume is spent in the next city, where they meet another witch guardian duo, and at first they just talk it out a bit, but then they start fighting again. And then they fight a bit, and then they talk a bit, and then they fight again, all the way into the next volume, where it just kinda ends, and they become friends and defeat the big evil bad guy that is the religious mastermind of the city. They go up to the next city up north, where they meet the tiny witch that just became a witch, and that is off to the city to protect it. She says her final goodbyes to her father, and time skip, 5 years, and the story ends, everything is resolved, and everybody is happy. So yeah, I guess that one didn't go too well with the readers. It wasn't even that bad, to be honest. I guess it just really didn't perform. The story overall was pretty okay. It was planned to be like 10 times longer for sure, so you can't really tell. I'm kinda sad that it got axed. It had potential to be at least a pretty okay shonen series. I get kinda bored by it by the end, so maybe it's for the best. And the characters were also not that bad, a bit too cliche for my liking, but who am I to tell? I'm not the target audience of this. The main character is shonen protagonist and the main girl is a shonen main girl. They were okay. The maid doesn't really do anything after the first few chapters. I don't know why she even tags along, she's just kind of there. And the other characters were kind of non-existent, but it's not too bad. The witch in the second city was pretty cool with her guardian, where they had the reversal of the who likes rules, who doesn't like rules because of what happened. But other than that, there weren't too many characters to talk about, and the character development didn't really kick in because it just ended way too soon for that. The art was kinda alright, nothing crazy, just pretty much a normal shonen. It didn't look amazing, but didn't look bad. Nothing really to complain about. Overall, it wasn't a good manga, it wasn't a bad manga, it had some potential. It just ended way too soon to fulfill it, and it just kinda meh because of that. I'm gonna give this one a 3.7 out of 10. It was just kinda bad, but not really bad. It shouldn't be here, it really shouldn't be. Number 8. At number 8 we have Minasama no Omocha Desu, or Everyone's Toy. Well, the last one wasn't too bad. Let's see what we got here. And oh boy, the cover of the manga is already something. The tags don't seem too bad with drama, edgy harem, but I don't think they tell the whole story. Let's see what the tags on Baka updates are, and oh boy. Bondage, female dominance, imprisonment, kidnapping prisoners, psychopaths, sadomasochism, sex slave, sexual abuse, torture. Oh fucking hell. Well, I guess it's gonna be one of those. Here goes nothing. Tsukimiya is a dutiful kid who has been looking after his family since his mother's passing and a popular pretty boy at school, but he rejects all those who confess to him due to an unrequited love he holds for one of his teachers. However, he suddenly finds himself kidnapped by a group of beautiful women who promise him a life of daily torture from now on. Oh well, fuck. Oh, and a quick disclaimer, if you can't tell, the next one is gonna be pretty graphic and there's gonna be a lot of pictures of torture and stuff, so if you don't want to see that, if you don't want to look at anything like that, then just skip to the next one. It starts out kinda normal. A boy in high school meets up with his friends, a girl confesses to him but he turns her down and heads home. While he is at home, he gets kidnapped and wakes up in a room with 5 hot chicks that tell him that he'll be tortured every day. Oh no. The first torture is a girl making him behave like a dog. Okay. With eating dog food and everything. Oh, and the dog food is on her feet. Great. He then gets saved by another girl and gets put in his room where no violence is allowed towards him so that he doesn't break too soon because they want to torture him a lot. He then gets told his schedule. He's going to be tortured 10 hours every day by 5 different girls, so 2 hours per girl per day. Oh boy. He then goes to take a bath and one of the girls abuses him a bit, but it's not too bad I guess, and it's also not really important. The first torture session the next day is a lot of cross-dressing, humiliation and kicking in the balls. Fuck me. It looks painful and I don't like it. After that's done, he heads straight to the next girl. At first she seems kinda nice and plays games with him and even cooks for him, but after he loses a game, she tears out one of his fingernails. Turns out she's just evil like everyone here. Oh no. There are a few more games and he loses a few more nails. Fuck me. Afterwards is lunch, where he gets tricked by a girl to vomit everything he ate. Yay. He also finds out what his friends really think about him, and it's not really that bad, to be honest, I don't know. Then the last torture session begins. The girl seems nice at first, but turns out that she's actually a bad guy. Oh no. She makes him shit in a diaper, put a cork up his ass, and locks him up in the freezer with no clothes. Then she takes off her bra and the scanlation ends. Fucking thank Christ. So, that was miserable as fuck. I fucking hated it. Of course, the story isn't even close to done. Only 21 of the 138 chapters were scanlated, and I'm so happy about that. The story, as I said, hasn't even really started yet, but I can only imagine that there's gonna be quite a bit more of torture and stuff, and probably even more guys are gonna get tortured, and I don't know, I really didn't like it. I even started gagging like twice while reading it, and it just wasn't a good time at all. And the characters were non-existent. The art was pretty alright, I guess. Kinda rough at times, but in the scenes that it had to be there, it fucking was there. So I'm gonna rate this on 0.3 out of 10. I fucking hate it. Don't go near this unless you have serious masochism and want to have something for your fetish. I think it should be rated way lower than this, but that's just my personal opinion because I'm not into this fucking shit. Oh, I also kinda wanna show off the two charts that I thought were pretty interesting. On the left is the score from Mel. It looks pretty normal, right? But now compare it to the chart from Baka Updates. This chart makes way more sense when you think about it. You either are into torture porn or you are not into torture porn. You should either hate this manga or love this manga, and then there should be like a slight minority in the middle between those two. I don't know how somebody reads this and goes like, nah, 6.5 out of 10, I don't know, good, it's just, I don't know, kind of a problem with Mal in general. People just kind of seem to forget that the lower half of a 1 to 10 scale exists and that 5 is the worst thing, but I guess it's a lot like that in modern rating systems, and I don't even know why it is like that, but that's a topic for another time. Oh fuck, I forgot to mention that he got pissed on in the first chapter and it looks so fucking gross, fucking hell. Oh no, never again, just next. Number 7 is Bone Collection with a 5.21, so the scores are getting pretty low at this point. And yeah, this seems to be a pretty big upgrade from the last one, because the last one was fucking miserable. It seems like just a normal shonen, again from Shonen Jump and again from this year, which is pretty funny. The tags are pretty standard. It's action, comedy, edgy, shonen, supernatural, nothing crazy. Seems like a run-of-the-mill shonen. Let's look at the description. In a world swarming with yokai demons, one day mediocre exorcist Kazumi encounters a beautiful girl named Paira. But who is she? And could the seemingly useless Kazumi actually have a special ability? Get ready for a new generation of yokai battle comedy manga. Yup, seems pretty normal. We start out in a world, establish a main character and a childhood friend. He sucks at being an exorcist, she's basically a prodigy at being an exorcist, it's kinda standard. And that's okay. And then after the first fight, he just wanders around a bit and meets a girl that falls from a portal in the sky. They go on a date for whatever reason, and she tells him that she is a yokai leader after he borrows her powers to defeat a strong foe. Alright, seems like the cast is all set, and the story can begin. We get told that the borrowing spell is actually forbidden and that the main character will get into trouble for using it. By the way, this manga is like really fixated on boobs, like really fixated on them. All the MC wants to do is get a girl with big boobies, and most of the plot revolves around them. It's not too big of a problem, cause you know, anime titties. Anyways, the queen obviously doesn't have a home, cause she just transported from the yokai world, so she just moves in with the MC and his father and older brother. And his father obviously thinks that she's a con artist and tries to scam him into marriage, which is honestly kinda funny. But sadly that's the funniest joke that the manga will see, so meh. Afterwards, the MC and his queen fight another yokai and his brother sees them, but the queen brings up his swimsuit fetish, so he can't tell anybody. Okay. They then go on a mission to defeat the big baddie with childhood friend and a mysterious character who turns out to be one of the 4 strongest exorcists in the world, known as the 4 Kings. He sees them use the borrowing spell, but it's okay, cause he's a lolly that used to play fighting games with the queen. Alright. So she gives them a mission to defeat an S-tier yokai to show their worth so that she won't narc on them with the higher-ups. Turns out that this ST yokai is also the BFF of the queen. Man, those are a lot of coincidences, aren't they? They head over to the house in the forest where he lives to defeat a few minor yokai and awaken a bit more power and defeat the BFF. Turns out he was just a misunderstood sweet guy. What a shock. I had honestly lost pretty much every interest in the manga at this point. It was pretty boring, but after this came the single chapter that actually saved the manga for me. I'm talking about the Milk Boy chapter, of course. Introducing Milk Boy. It's all about this little sweet yokai that helps a farmer out with milking his cows. And look at this dude, he's fucking cute and he's a good boy. And he's very responsible, yes, he's a very good boy. There's also a corrupt exorcist that takes money from the farmer so that he doesn't tell anybody that he's working together with a yokai. And no, Milk Boy shouldn't leave, no, he was the best character, what a fuckhead. And oh my god, a cowshed crusher. That's really specific, but oh well. But look at this boy! He tries to protect everyone. What a good boy! Yes, Milk Boy, you did it, Milk Boy. And after that, it's just downhill. There's another Exorcist yokai duo. Wow, a Yamcha reference. Haven't seen that anywhere. That teaches them a bit, a new Exorcist King, a new big baddie, and they go to defeat him. They start fighting in unison and still kinda don't make it and blah 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 blah. But then the queen makes a final wish and there's a wedding and Milk Boy shows up. The hype is real. That's literally the best part of the last 5 chapters. And they kiss and defeat the bad guy. Yup, all of that happens in 5 chapters. And of course there is a 5-year time skip at and it's over and everybody is happy. The end. So this one also got axed, and it got axed even faster than the last one. This time I think it's pretty good that it got axed, cause I didn't want it to go on any longer, to be honest. It was kinda bad. I wasn't interested at all in the story, but it got cancelled for a reason. And the characters were pretty bad as well. The main character was just really standard with a serious boob fetish. Queen wasn't much more than just in love with the main character. The neighborhood friend was useless as fuck even though she was a prodigy, and there aren't really any more characters to talk about. I guess the lolly was kind of funny, but yeah. Oh, also, it was kind of weird how the brother just had a swimsuit fetish and then just didn't turn up anymore after that. That was kind of weird. Oh, and of course Milk Boy. Milk Boy was like the best character of all time, like no joke. Milk Boy actually kind of saved this manga for me. And it's just kind of way too soon to talk about any sort of character development because it just ended so abruptly. The art was actually pretty good, most of the time that is. The characters looked kind of cutesy, but that's not inherently a bad thing. It fit the tone of the story and setting, so that's probably the most important part. I think the art was the best part of the manga for sure. Overall, I think it had some potential, but ultimately I'm not sad that it was cancelled. I wouldn't recommend reading it besides Milk Boy, because I don't know, it was kind of a waste of time. I'm gonna give it a 2.7 out of 10. It's not horrible, just pretty bad. It would be lower if there wasn't the Milk Boy chapter, I'm gonna be completely honest. It should probably not be in the 10 worst mangas of all time, but it's not too far above. Number 6. And next we got number 6, Delivery of the Dead, with a 5.16. Alright, here we go. This is the first one of the 3 manga that I had already read before, and it's quite something. I liked it back in the days, but I haven't read it in like 1.5 years, so maybe that changed. It's a body comedy horror, I guess. The tags are comedy, edgy, horror, and supernatural. Doesn't sound too bad, but yeah, here's the description. Welcome to a world where the undead can be purchased to scratch whatever itch you've got, be it sexual or otherwise. These girls have got you covered. And spoilers, it's gonna be quite sexual. I don't think that they scratch any other need. But first things first. The best thing about this manga is probably the translation. It's somehow British, Australian English, and it's pretty funny with a few memes sprinkled in between. The guy really outdid himself on it, cause I mean it's a comedy and the language makes it even funnier, so I think a normal translation would make this worse. And spoilers, this might not be the only time that we've heard him translate something, even on this list. The manga starts with an office worker that orders a prostitute. And the twist is that the prostitute is a zombie, like said in the description. They proceed to shower together and finally have intercourse, but things get rough and the zombie loses an arm, seemingly angering her. Office worker realizes that she is hurt and not mad and embraces her. The guy that brought her over takes her away as office worker says his last goodbye to Shiro love. It's beautiful and sad and powerful. Most chapters are short stories like this. In the next chapter, for example, a pushover guy orders a zombie prostitute, and after being scared about consequences his entire life, he has to jump over his own shadow and let her give him a blowjob. We also get this amazing image out of it. Nice. And in the next chapter, a serious politician who is against the normalization of zombies gets a thick zombie girl, what a fucking image again, and lets himself be absorbed in boobies. And after a while he actually kinda suffocates in her titties and belly for a bit. This is actually happening, and at least it's funny. He then proudly calls out that he died for a second and stands with his zombie brethren now. The power of big titty zombie GFs is amazing. The next guy is a delivery guy that is for some reason doesn't have sex with the normal chick that literally offers it to him, and gets fed up about it and orders a zombie dancer and she just kind of falls apart. Okay. And the last story is about a dominatrix that's the daughter of a man who is still sad that his wife died and she kinda wants to get him out of it. Turns out that she was killed when the zombies attacked for the first time, and the daughter does the only sensible thing that a human being would do and orders him a zombie hooker that looks exactly like his wife. Yup. But he is totally into it, so it's okay, I guess. We then see the tragic backstory of how the wife died at the start of the zombie apocalypse, and it's honestly the most emotional scene of all the mangas so far. And we find out that the zombies want to be sold for money and be prostitutes of their own free will. Okay. Also, the guy is fucking the zombie and a fucking lightning strikes and yeets the freezer where they keep the dead wife. Sure, why not? And they bid the farewells and it's great, and that's that. So, that was really something. The translation makes it better for sure, but it wasn't that bad in general. It did what it wanted to do well enough, and that's pretty much it. I don't think that there's a lot to talk about with the characters. They were funny enough and served their purpose. The art is pretty okay as well. It looks very digital, so I don't know, but it's whatever. Some of the pages are pretty funny and the drawings definitely help with that. Overall, it was a pretty fun read. Let's be real, it's pure trash, but it embraces that it's trash and it's funny simply for that reason. I'm gonna give this one a 4.3 out of 10. It really wasn't that bad, even kinda funny. And yeah, probably the best manga on this entire list, like, for real. And it should nowhere be the 6th worst manga of all time. I don't know. I don't even know why people dislike it that much. So, this wraps up the first half of the list, and I think I'm gonna go into more detail with the latter half, because we're gonna get to the worst 5 manga on Mel of all time, so it's gonna be pretty bad. Number 5. If we have that word puzzle with 5.09. I mean, the only saving grace of this manga is that it's only 4 chapters long, but those 4 chapters are 4 chapters too much. And this is the second manga that I had already read from the bunch, and it's the worst manga that I've ever read in my life. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm gonna go into detail why it's fucking ridiculously bad. We have the tags mystery, horror and supernatural. Yep, it's a trash horror manga. Let's take a look at this crazy description. A horrifying competition of survival between normal high school students soon becomes filled for blood, guts and death. Yep, that's it, that's the entire description. We don't get more than that. I also think that it should be with instead of for, like filled with blood, guts and death, not filled for blood, guts and death. That doesn't really make sense, but who fucking cares? And there's a sick Oxford comma though, so that's cool. Alright, let's get this fucking shit over with. We start in a college or university. I guess the description fucked that up somehow as well, but I guess nobody really wanted to write anything for this, with our main character and a few other characters. And there is a weird toy on the desk that says 34 players remaining. Some guy walks out of the door and his head pops, yay. And a few more heads pop and a face falls off. That's fucking terrible. And oh my god, look at the puking girl's fingers. What is that? How is it? Her hand looks fat and her fingers are... What happened? Oh well, whatever. So 28 players remain, and oh my god, it looks amazing. The MC casually walks over to the corpses and finds a crossword puzzle in between them. Okay, sure. That's not bloody and all, but whatever. And they try to punch the toy and people just start dropping again while the MC starts laughing maniacally cause he figured it out. What a great guy. Puzzles keep getting solved and people keep dying, and that girl is concerned like a normal person would be concerned. Too bad the MC somehow got the puzzles from all the dead people and solved them. What a fucking mad lad. Now he starts talking about books and how human life is worth shit, and oh my god, what on earth is that? Are his hips just super wide? And what about his arm? Did it shrink? Is it broken? Is he wearing a skirt? Does he really wear a skirt? That's what it looks like. At least his head looks okay, I guess? Kinda? Look at this dude chilling in the back, just vibing a bit, just no big deal, just a few people died, but whatever. Fuck, this is I this is the worst manga panel that I've seen in my entire life, and I fucking love it. And the girl gets splattered by the female MC and only 12 people are left. Nice. And that was only the first chapter, oh boy. That word puzzle, what a name. She looks like a fucking mannequin, what the fuck? People get mad cause people died, but MC is just like, nah fam. And they are now told that they have to solve an exam and that there are keywords prepared and stuff. Whoever thought that a fucking crossword puzzle dev game is a good idea is a fucking retard, like, seriously. Anyways, they have 10 minutes and start looking, and fucking hell, the fucking anatomy of these drawings again, come on. They set out to solve the puzzle and damn, nice lightning effects. So MC says he needs allies and they agree. Some girl thinks she knows it all and shit, and the game starts. MC and that guy answer correctly, and the smart girl does a dum-dum and her head explodes. And Umbrella Girl walks over there and picks her brains up. Yummy! Characters start panicking again and Idiot gets deaded, and the next guy doesn't know what to say and gets yeeted as well. And bad guy is bad and doesn't help, oh no. And that girl accidentally kills her friend because of the death word, whoopsie. Well, whatever. She gets yeeted a second later anyway, so it didn't really fucking matter. And another guy's head gets cut in half, and we get the epic twist that the words of death are the names of the people. Damn. But Umbrella Girl knew that all along and has everything planned out. MC has a laughing fit again and they start to fight by solving a fucking crossword puzzle. I'm on the edge of my seat like two people high octane crossword puzzle solving, I can't believe it. And would you look at that, MC kills one guy of the other team, oh no. And it's cause of a very smart and tactical move to fill out a name without actually writing it, just as planned. Umbrella Girl knows that she's fucked and tries to make a deal with them cause her parents are capitalists? Damn, that's really specific. But MC yeets her and the last guy pisses himself and gets deaded as well. That guy thinks he'll make it out alive cause he's an ally of the MCs, but oh well, a female MC doesn't think so. Turns out that she's a crazy stalker and in love with the MC, but MC ain't about that, so he tries to kill her, but oh well, didn't work. And she dunks him instead. Sick guts, bro. Yeah, look really good. Turns out that female MC never put her actual name down in the list where they've put all the names down. What a sick twist. And now it's on the news and it's over. So, I probably spent more time on the 4 chapters of this manga than on all of the other mangas, but I really wanted to go into it and show off some of the art because it's horrendous. And I don't know, I don't even know who thought of this stupid idea, like seriously, a crossword puzzle death game? I mean, it just doesn't work, it doesn't work at all, it's so boring. Like, you can't tell what's going on because it's just basically people solving a crossword puzzle and you don't even get to see the puzzle or what's in it, so you can't even really tell if it's suspenseful or not. It's just an excuse to kill people, and I think there are like a million better excuses than a crossword puzzle. Just look at literally any other death game, literally any other one. It's, I don't know, man, it's ridiculous. Oh, and normally there's a reason or something why people are put in a death game. This doesn't even bother with thinking of a reason, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Just thinking about it a bit logically, normally a death game has like a good reason why people are in a death game, or the game itself is really interesting. Normally for a good death game it has to fit one of the two, like a good game or a good reason why people are in a simple game. But this doesn't even bother to give a reason, and the game itself is fucking garbage, so yeah, so the characters are just non-existent at all. I mean, the main character is just a light Yagami clone with no personality except books good, human life not important, me smart. And female MC is a closet yandere like every other female MC ever in these types of games. I guess Umbrella Girl had an okay design. That's literally the only good thing you're gonna get out of me from this manga. Like, no other character was important at all, so whatever, who cares? And don't even get me started on the art. The art is literally the worst thing about this manga. Like, everything else is kind of bad, like bad, but the art is like horrendous. It's ridiculous. Like, every proportion of the characters is fucked up, and the characters most of the time don't even look like humans. They look like mannequins with clothes on. It's so weird. Like. They never look like they're in motion. They just look like they're standing there all of the time. And then there's the gore, and I mean, gore is important for a manga like this, because it's what most people come here to see. They're just like, ooh, a death game, and I wanna see some splatter, I wanna see some kids die and shit, and it's just, half of the time a head explodes, and the other half of the time guts come out of a person, and that's it. Nothing else. Like, either head explosion or guts. And it's so weird. It's like the artist didn't know how to draw any other organs, or didn't know what else to do, and I can't believe that the artist just didn't know what else is in a human even. Yeah, and facial expressions are also like so weird. I'm fucking done with this shit. Overall, I just hate this. I just fucking hate it. The torture shit, at least I get why people like the torture shit. It's a kink for some people, so it's fine in that regard. But this is an insult to everybody that likes manga and that wants to be a mangaka themselves. It's just, I don't know. The only funny thing about this manga is how bad the art is. Nothing else is even funny about it. It's just boring otherwise. Just nobody should ever have to read this again. It should be erased from the face of the earth. 0.1 out of 10. Never again. Stay away from it. Stay far away from it. By the way, the author only has one more manga, and it came out in 2018, so like 5 years after Deadward Puzzle. I'm kinda curious to see if he improved or not, but it's not scanlated yet, so I can't read it. But it's called Torture Labyrinth, so there's that. I guess he found his fucking niche. It even got serialized by Comic Punch, and that's kind of a label that people could know, so I'm stoked if it ever gets scanlated. Number 4! And coming in at number 4 is R402 with a whopping 4.77. Well, it can only get better now, like literally. Let's see what we have next. So, we've got a few tags here. Drama, edgy, horror, romance, psychological, and seinen. Huh. It's kinda a lot of tags and it's kinda weird, but well, let's just read the description. Or rather, room 402 is the room where our illustrious female main character lives. One day, which seems to be mere coincidence, her fate intertwines with that of Sasamoto, a savvy man who seems to be down in the dumps. That is until he picks up a trinket which fell from her nether regions. Prepare yourself for a story of sexual, psychological horror as Sasamoto enters into a brave new world. Well, that sounds unique. Let's take a quick look, and yep, a borderline hentai. Oh boy. I don't know how much I'll be able to show of this, but here we go! And we start out with a few color pages of a naked woman. And now MC is on a train and the woman walks over. Starts moaning, something falls out of her vagina and he returns it. Alright. And by some coincidence she comes to his workplace and drags him into the toilet to look at something. By the way, this is translated by the same group that did Delivery of the Dead, and it shows. The dialogues are stupid as hell, but it's kind of funny, so I'm fine with it for the most part. It's a bit too memey for my taste, but it's alright. Shout out to Siri and Hillock doing God's work here. Anyways, MC's female friend is on the toilet next to them, he gets a blowjob and they start fucking and they finish fucking. MC gets back to work and that's that. Then we learn about how MC is an antisocial fuck, okie dokie. He then finds out her address through his job and goes over there and she is fucking a guy in a car. The next day she calls his work, gives him an address and he almost gets #MeToo'd. Fucking great. But then they fuck, so it's okay. And afterwards he passes a scary old guy. Bruh, relatable. Doritos joke, oh my fucking god. He then proceeds to stalk her and takes up a loan with the loan shark she works for. Why though? I hope he actually said TM out loud here. He goes over and they do be the fucking again. And she calls an old guy and talks ominously about a corpse in a park that we saw and maybe she fucked it to death, I don't know. Borderless hentai is kind of a joke at this point, they're literally fucking right and left like every second chapter, it's honestly ridiculous. And now there's a busy day at work and he stalks her for a bit and she gets mad at him stalking her and he's back at work and he's in her bed somehow and they just fuck again. The whole day, literally the entire day. He even shows the people on the train that they're fucking, what a nice guy. He then finds a rope and a wig in her cabinet. Spooky. And then they bump into the nice girl when they are out to eat and it's honestly kinda sad. We get a few girl thoughts and destroyed dreams. MC then meets Slut with Geezer, MC and Geezer talk a bit and Slut and MC start fucking again. Yeah, it's just hentai. Fucking Geezer listens to it, by the way, it's fucking gross. And Lone Shark comes to his place and he gets mad, masturbates a bit and gets to the office just in time to see the Lone Shark fuck the Slut. And he gets mad, really mad. Or not actually, I guess. Well, who cares? Slut gets money from the Geezer and MC is mad that she leaves the house. Oh, wow. Then she quits her job, but Lone Shark wants one last fuck, but MC isn't about it. She then tells MC to fuck off for a day and destroys her SIM card. MC can't find her, but Geezer calls him to talk and reveals that MC was used as a tool for him to fuck her more or less. Fucking slut. MC proceeds to almost kill him, but I don't think he did, at least it doesn't look like it. And she calls him and... British people, am I right? Anyways, he runs over to the office and calls her just when Lone Shark and her are about to start fucking. I should probably mention that Slut did crack a safe before that and probably stole some money, I'm not 100% sure though. She tells him to keep a lookout and the fucking moron helps her cuck him. He even tries to kill a poor co-worker chick that just walks by, but Lone Shark gets tossed down the stairs before that, so at least she's okay. He then gets interviewed by the police about the incident, but gets let off the hook and they find out that he is connected to the Slut through his work. Oof. MC meets Slut in the park, rain is pouring on them and they start fucking, of course. Of course they do, and oh my god, his face. Just imagine having an intimate moment with the person you love and he looks like that. Jesus fucking Christ. We get a bit of a sad backstory and she just shanks him when the police arrives and yeets him in a river. And we see a quick fast forward and the work chick is sucking his cock and it's over. Well, so that was that. I don't really know how to feel about this one. I mean, I hated it, that's for sure, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever read. The translations made it... I don't know, I'm not even sure about the translations at this point. Overall, I just think that there were also a lot of plot holes or stuff that I just didn't get for some reason. Like, what about the ominous wig and rope? Was it just from BDSM? And the guy that died in the park, he's just not important, I guess? Did nobody ever investigate that? And how she just fried her SIM card for no apparent reason in the end whatsoever? I don't understand why all of that was in there. Nothing of that really made any difference or made any sense at all. And the most interesting part about the whole story is just how a normal guy gets more or less absorbed in another person when he gets obsessed with her, and how the obsession just completely takes control of his life and just puts it off the rails. That was honestly kind of interesting to read, but it's just so poorly done. But coming back to the translations for a bit, I think that the manga in its current state profits from the translations. I think it doesn't need them, but they make it better, because at least it's funny how it is right now, instead of just kind of weird. But I think there is a good manga somewhere in this. If you just remove a lot of the fucking that's really unnecessary most of the time and just kind of out of place, and give this a better translation, then you could really make a decent story out of this, with a main character whose life just gets flipped upside down by a woman, and how he just goes into the rabbit hole deeper and deeper and deeper until there's no coming back. And that is on paper a good story, but I'm not sure. There's probably more you would have to do with this to really make it work. But I think if you changed at least this a bit around and then cut out a bit of the fucking, it would make a better iteration of the manga than the one that we have right now. The characters are kind of weird, and I don't know what exactly I should say about them. There was probably a bit of nuance that was lost because of the Mimi translations. MC is a lone wolf office worker that gets in over his head, and his slow descent into obsession is kinda interesting. Other than that, only the slut really stands out. Her stepdad raped me while mom just watched backstory kinda gets just inserted as an afterthought right at the end, though. That was not too well made. I probably would have preferred if she just didn't add one, just make her more mysterious, just make her seem more evil. The art was pretty alright, I guess. Nothing to really complain about. The faces of the characters were all kinda over the top at points, but that's just the stylistic choice, and it kind of worked in a way. The sex scenes, and there were a lot of them, looked straight out of a normal hentai, so I guess that was okay as well. By the way, calling this borderline hentai is an absolute fucking joke. The only thing you don't see are a penis and a vagina, and those are censored in normal hentai anyway, so who fucking cares? Wait, I'm gonna count real quick. Alright. 7 actual 100% sex scenes and 4 kinda sex scenes where it's just imagination or a blowjob in a single panel and stuff, yeah. And this is 18 chapters long, so that's 11 sex scenes in 18 chapters. That's more than a sex scene every 2 chapters, and that's really a lot. At least I would definitely just call this hentai. I mean, the horror aspect also just was no horror aspect at all. I don't know why it was a tag, but whatever. I don't know. I had no idea who even made the tag, so I don't know. Alright, overall I kinda hated it. Without the translations, I would have hated it even more as it is right now, I think, so at least there's that. Only the slow descent into the rabbit hole is kind of fun to follow. Other than that, it was really bad. I'm gonna give it a 1.7 out of 10. Read it if you want some stupid translation shenanigans and memes, otherwise just stay away from it. Read normal hentai, it's better for you. I might actually deserve its spot on this list, but 4th is a bit too high in my opinion. Number 3. And at number 3 we have Battle Royale 2 Blitz Royale with a 4.55. We're really getting down there. And here we are at the last manga that I had already read before starting this little project. It's been a while since then. It was actually one of the first real manga that I had ever read, if I recall. I read it because I was a big fan of the original Battle Royale manga back in the days. It was one of my favorite mangas. It's not anymore, but I really liked it back then, so I had kinda high expectations going into this sequel, and I didn't like it at all, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. It is as stated the sequel to the widely known Battle Royale, and therefore the tag's action, drama, psychological siren should not be too big of a surprise. There's no description on Mal, but Baka has a description, so let's read that. Like the earlier Battle Royales, a class of middle school students are picked to compete in fights to the death on an island until there is only one left. The manga follows the point of view of girl number 10, Makoto Hishimoto, an unlucky girl who fears that her class will be chosen to participate in the program, a mysterious event that forces students to kill each other. Makoto attends Shikontoride Junior High School. After the encouragement of her best friend Ito Yamato and her mother, she decides to face the chances. Her fears are supposedly put to rest when word spreads that all 50 programs had already been executed in the year, making them 100% unlikely to participate. ... Sounds pretty normal so far for a battle royale. Let's get into it. Alright, we start out with MC. She is scared of the program, which is pretty reasonable, and doesn't want to go on a field trip, but her friend convinces her that it's okay. We learn that all classes for this year have been picked, but oh well, seems like that wasn't completely correct. And this is a special program held by the Navy, sure. And they get shipped to a school and have to write their will, actually pretty dark, not gonna lie. He even sends it back to her mother, it's kind of fucked up. They get divided into groups of 4 and are pretty happy that they don't have to kill each other. They have to dispose of corpses too, but they kinda can't do it. So they go back to the school and try to take a shower, but get knocked out by gas for whatever reason, and wake up in a gym hall with collars around their necks. And their teacher comes in and tells them that they can go home if they pass the upcoming exam. Nobody has ever passed it though, apparently, so that's tough luck. They don't know if the collars actually kill them, and the guy the MC likes gets mad because she doesn't want to try if it kills her if she rebels. Okay. And they go on a mission and get sorted into teams. One of the first guys thinks that he can rebel and gets yeeted. He doesn't quite die and they try to save him, but ultimately they fail. And now the only nice guy is about to get killed, but MC steps in. And the army guy gets sniped from behind. What? I guess there is an intruder somehow? Soldiers move in, the plan gets changed a bit. They ask for volunteers, no one wants to do it, but MC gets shoved in and her friends join her. The fuckhead is also coming with them, they talk about the plan and get going. Fuckhead pushes one of the guys into the line of fire and he gets shot. Or not? Turns out he only lost a ear. He gets saved, but Fuckhead steals the device that controls the collars that they had found earlier in the commotion. He fucks off and they make a plan of action and kill the drugged up soldier. And the girls forget how to shoot guns for whatever reason. Oh, but it turned out fine. How is she unharmed there? I don't know. And they shoot the guy. They did it, yay! But oh no, there's a second guy, and he shanks the MC, but they yeet him and do some first aid on her, so it's okay. She wakes up 4 days later in the hospital, but Fuckhead wants to rape her, I guess, and threatens her with the device he stole. Turns out that everybody hates their unit now, cause they get to live a better life after successfully doing the challenge. And by the way, this is literally the exact reason why in a normal military nobody gets a special treatment, cause people from other units would get mad, but who cares, it's a manga. We then meet a new girl that apparently already graduated the school twice. She saves the MC from an attacker, which was her friend back in the days, and they capture her. The graduate then gets intimidated by Fuckhead and kills the attacker, making MC think that she did it on accident. Everybody else thinks that MC killed her as well, and they plan to kill her and the entire unit during the next exam. And 2 people of the main unit go out and get killed by the graduate, which is, oh well. And now MC is getting drugged up as fuck and she shoots herself before the exam starts. What? And right as it starts, everyone starts blasting and killing everyone. After a while, the last squad mate tries to help MC but gets killed by the graduate and that's that. Somehow MC is still alive though and goes after the graduate? Meanwhile, Fuckface and some other guy are the last survivors besides the squad that killed everyone. And MC catches up to the graduate who actually can't pop her collar cause her heart stopped beating when she shot herself? Okay. Fuckface gets saved by the graduate and Fuckface and MC are the 2 only survivors, as the graduate confirms. And we see the next bunch of students coming in, the end. So that was it. Yeah, I don't know either. The first volume was pretty alright in my opinion. The second volume just took a nosedive in the middle. I guess the manga got axed and the author had to scramble an ending together really quick, and it shows. The drugs come out of nowhere and literally everyone just dies. Kinda disappointing, the manga actually had some potential, I'd say. I think most people just hate this manga because it's supposed to be a Battle Royale 2 and it just really isn't. The only thing that it really has in common are the school classes being abducted into collars. If you would just give this manga a different name, nobody would give a shit about it. But it's the official sequel of the granddad of all death games, and that's not a good thing in this case. The characters are actually not that bad. The MC is a shy girl that is afraid of bringing people around her misfortune. I'm sure that she would have learned a lesson or two about self-worth and shit if she was just given the chance. The other characters are also not quite fleshed out, but oh well, it's bound to happen if it gets cancelled after 2 volumes. The art style is probably one of the biggest reasons why people really dislike this manga. It is honestly a weird choice for a dev game. It reminds me of mangas targeted at kids, which is kind of odd for a story like this. And I get where people are coming from, especially if they read the first Battle Royale and expect a similar art style. Because the first Battle Royale had like a real and gritty art style with children that honestly didn't really look like children but looked like adults, but people just they just wanted to be like this. But I honestly don't mind it too much. It really works in a weird way. It's like these kids that actually really look like kids, just with these military uniforms that shoot each other. It's quite different in another way than the original Battle Royale, and I actually do like this type of simplistic style overall, but yeah, I get why people that are big fans of the original would not like it. Overall, I guess I don't really hate Battle Royale 2. It's kind of a disappointment, but it doesn't ruin Battle Royale or anything, because there is pretty much no connection between the two anyways. If you just look at it as an independent manga, it's just kinda bad, but not horrible. Mostly because it got axed way too soon to actually get really going, so I don't know, 3 out of 10 I guess. Should not be the 3rd worst manga of all time, that's honestly ridiculous. There are already 2 way worse death games on this list alone. Number 2. And now at number 2 we have Gal Cleaning or Gal Clee at 4.42. Alright, it's the second to last one, and it seems to just be your normal rom-com. The tags are comedy, edgy, romance, school. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. The description reads as: "They do not care even if I see their panties. High school student Daisuke Kaji, who is bad with gals, was made to deliver something to the house of the biggest monster gal, Chiriko Iega. Forced to bring Iega to her bedroom, Kachi is shocked by her unimaginable filthy room. After being amazed by the level of cleaning knowledge Kachi demonstrated, Iega extorts him into cleaning her entire room. The beginning of a gal love comedy." Yup, seems pretty normal so far. Let's just start reading, I guess. We start out with our MC in school. He seems to be quite irritated by girls, classic rom-com MC so far. The most popular girl in school is sick and he is tasked to bring her the homework for the day, which he reluctantly does. When he arrives, she is collapsed on the floor and he carries her up to her room while she takes selfies. But her room is a fucking mess. He shows her how to clean her bed and she pressures him into cleaning her room, or else she would send the selfies she took to everyone at school. He does as he is told and starts cleaning while she waits outside of the room. He finds some cute little memory albums while cleaning that she was making for the entire class. And the room looks pretty nice. MC goes home, but his key doesn't fit into his door anymore and he finds a note. Turns out that his dad accumulated huge debt and organized for MC to live with friends of his. And those friends just so happen to be the parents of the main girl. What a coincidence. And her parents live overseas, so it's just the 2 high schoolers alone in a big house. Oh my. The next few chapters are just some slice of life and cleaning, nothing too special. Why is this the second worst one? We see that all the other rooms are also fucked up, and MC cleans up the sofa to sleep on while main girl puts on a revealing Christmas outfit. They walk over to the neighborhood granny's house to eat dinner later that day. She had spilled some oil though. Oh no. MC knows how to clean it up though. Oh yes. And they eat and are happy. Then they go shopping, and there is a chapter where MC is sick. At the end of that chapter we hear that his dad paid off his debt, that was kind of fast, and that he can move back. Main girl wants to keep him here cause more cleaning needs to be done. He then cleans the toilet, main girl is sad about it cause the toilet gets cleaned too quickly, and he is about to leave. But suddenly he gets a text from his dad that he actually didn't pay off his debt and he has to continue to live with the main girl. Oh, okay. And then a few shenanigans at school happen cause main girl forgets to put on panties. Well, she didn't forget, she just didn't have any fresh ones and put on his panties or his underpants, but she kinda just lost them. But whatever. MC sees her vagina a few times and gets a few nosebleeds, and she shows him once and he also gets a nosebleed, and then he has to do wacky stuff to prevent other people from looking up her skirt. It's honestly kind of funny. But then for reasons I'm not so sure about, they get locked up in a locker and it's pretty cramped. MC starts stimulating the main girl on accident somehow, and they almost get found out by her friends. The student council president comes into the room just in time and makes the friends leave. This takes 2 whole chapters, by the way. MC and main girl think it's safe to get out of the locker, but it's not cause the student council president is still there. Oh no. She asks them a few questions and tells main girl to fix her skirt's length. MC tries to prevent student council president from pulling off main girl's skirt cause she has no panties on, and ends up accidentally kissing her. The student council president has a flashback to being on the verge of rape, and oh no. The next chapter starts out with this little disclaimer. And the following chapter is some really fucked up stuff, absolute dumpster fire material. What was once a wholesome manga about gals and cleaning has turned into this. We will keep going with this series until the whole thing dies a fiery death it so rightly deserves now, but expect the series to get worse from here on out. Perhaps read some actual good gal manga like Ancho-san, Gal Gohan or Nagatoro instead of this crap. Editor Anon. Fucking hell. Well, let's see how bad it gets. And the rapist looks disgusting as fuck, starts licking her boobs and punches her right in the face. Fucking why? What is this? And she gets finger fucked by the rapist and seems like a mess. Great. The MC somehow knows what's happening, and out of nowhere he yeets one of the rapists in the face with a broom and saves the student council president. After they run away, she starts to cry and he hugs her to calm her down. Okay then. We leave the flashback and the student council president confesses to MC and asks him if he has feelings for main girl. He says, "Hell no, I hate gals," after some consideration to keep up the secret of them living together. And student council president somehow knows that he is often at her house. She's stalking him. We never get any confirmation on that, but whatever. Main girl hears this and walks away. MC proceeds to tell student council president that main girl is special though and that he likes her. But main girl doesn't hear this anymore, and when he gets home he finds a note that they can't live together anymore. He notices that her skirt is sticking out of the closet and talks a bit. She comes out, hugs him and tells him that he has to stay here forever to clean, and it's over. So what just happened? What the fuck was that? Like seriously, why did the author do that? So that we care more about the student council president? The manga would have been perfectly fine, would have been a perfectly fine little cleaning rom-com without that weird, completely out of place attempted rape flashback. And it was so fucking drawn out as well. What the fuck? If you want to make a scene like that, which can work out, it can work out just fine if it's done correctly, but you don't have to make it 50 pages long and this graphic. You could just make it a few pages long, have the MC come in, rescue the student council president. After she calls out for help, it's simple as that. You don't have to show any explicit rape or rape attempts. I don't know. Like, I even did the math. The entire flashback is 50 pages long, and the manga is 347 pages total, so that's 14% of the entire manga is just a rape flashback. It's just so out of place, I just don't understand. Like the rest of the story was perfectly fine. It was just a standard little rom-com with an emphasis on cleaning, which is great. But it just gets torn apart by the rape scene for no reason. I'm also not 100% sure if this manga was cancelled or not. The ending feels a bit rushed, and far less than the 3 above entries that were axed for sure. But still, I don't know. A bit more wholesome cleaning would have been quite nice instead of the rape. The characters overall were pretty alright. Both the MC and the main girl learn from each other and grow close to each other over time. A bit too fast for my liking, but oh well. They do feel like a bit too cliche overall, I'd say, but they actually have development. First time that happens on this list, I can't believe it myself. The only character that's really out of place is the student council president that has a 50-page long attempted rape flashback, and it doesn't even get any payoff. Like, the main character still doesn't like her or anything, and she breaks down in tears after he says that. Like, I don't know why would. Well, the art was pretty neat. Nothing too special, but it fit the tone really well. Well, most of the tone. And the characters look cute. The cleaning scenes are also done pretty well, so I don't have anything to complain about here, really. Yeah, I can see why people hate this. The tone break was just ridiculous and came out of nowhere, and it didn't have any payoff at all, so it just felt so out of place. I just don't understand why the author thought that this was a good idea. He probably just wanted to draw a rape scene for all I know. I don't really know how to rate this. 1.8 out of 10, I don't know. Probably around like a 5 out of 10 if the rape didn't happen, but it did. I personally wouldn't put this low on the list, but I can't imagine how people must have felt that actively read this manga as it was releasing. Like, imagine the fucking heartbreak. Oh well, moving on. And number 1. We finally fucking made it. It only took forever, no big deal. But what could be the worst rated manga on this list? After all, we had cancelled shonen, horrible death games, sequel that should never have existed, literal hentai with meme scanlations, gross torture fetish porn, and rom-coms with fucking rape in the middle. So what could possibly be worse than all of this? And yeah, how could it be? And the answer might surprise a few of you. The other few of you might already know it, since it's kind of a meme, but well, here we go. Drumroll, please. And the worst rated manga on Mal of all time up until right now is High School Musical with a 2.52. Yep, you heard that right. It's High School Musical. It somehow has a manga for whatever reason. And yeah, comedy, romance, school shoujo seems pretty reasonable, to be honest. And the description? 2 high school students who are worlds apart, the school's hoop star and the president of the science club, secretly decide to audition for their school's musical, a decision that turns both their world and their school upside down. Source IMDb. Fucking IMDb. Also checks out. Let's fucking dive into it, I guess. Alright, so here we got a title page and a few character descriptions, and then the manga starts. First we get a jersey and a ball with some exposition, then people are celebrating cause the Wildcats won the championship. Yay! And the girl seems to be very happy about it, they are still celebrating, and now it seems like they went to a cabin or treehouse somewhere to keep celebrating. Seems like those two are dating and talking about the future, sure, and Torayu is thinking about the fact that school will end soon and we see the party again, and that's it. Yeah, so this is only 10 pages long. One of those pages is empty as well, and 2 of them aren't part of the story, so yeah, I mean, nothing really happened. They won a championship, had a party, and that's it, so I don't know, man. There are no real characters to talk about, and the art is pretty okay, I guess. Looks pretty standard shoujo. So I guess the most interesting thing that we can talk about is why it exists and how it ended up being at the number one spot. Also, remember that this is categorized as a manga and not as a one-shot somehow, which also seems kinda weird, considering it's 10 pages long. Let's tackle these questions instead of talking about the contents of a 10-page manga. Firstly, this manga came out in 2008, the same year that High School Musical 3 came out in the US. I can only assume that this manga was a special in a DVD release or something similar in Japan. Maybe in a triple DVD case or something, or maybe in just a normal DVD case. That would explain why it is listed as a volume 1 with question mark chapters. It must have been a booklet with 10 pages. That would also explain why the character descriptions are lengthy. They're not meant for the manga alone, but also to prepare for the movies. And most of the characters that are in the manga aren't even mentioned by name, only Troy and the girl and Chad. And while I couldn't find any proof of this theory, I couldn't find anything on this manga at all on the internet. I think that it's most likely the reason for this existing. And now the only remaining question is why it's the lowest rated manga of all time by a pretty big margin even. And there is only one real reason I can think of. It's High School Musical, and people downvoted it because it's High School Musical, and why does it exist? And it's a funny meme, I guess. Yeah, it's just a meme. The manga itself really isn't bad. I mean, there isn't really a manga at all. It's it's effectively 7 pages and nothing happens. So I I can't rate this. I can't give this a rating. Like, I can't rate nothing. So yeah, it gets a nothing out of 10. I gave it a 1 on Mel because I want to see how low it can go, but yeah, I don't know. This is really anticlimactic. One more thing that I think is kind of funny is if you look at the graph, you can clearly see that there's a lot of ones and a lot of twos, but also a fair amount of tens. And obviously, it's people memeing the exact other way, giving it a 10 and saying that it's the best thing ever. But if you remove the tens and make them 3 instead of like 69 or what it is right now, the score goes down from a 2.5 to a 1.55, and that is like ridiculously low. That's like 3 whole points lower than gal cleaning, and that's honestly kind of funny. And yeah, that does it. Kinda disappointing that the worst rated manga was a meme, but oh well. This little experiment turned out to take way longer than I thought. I also read and saw some of the things that I can never unsee. It's fucking torture porn and shit, man, I don't know. And just for a quick wrap up, 5 of these series I would agree with being on the bottom 10. 4 of them definitely did not deserve to be this low on the list, and I really don't know about High School Musical. Maybe it deserves to be here because it's kinda stupid and exists, but whatever, I'm glad that I'm fucking done with this. I want to read something actually good now. Oh, I heard that normal YouTubers would normally now put up a graph like this many people are subscribed, you should subscribe and shit, but yeah, so this is the first video and I have no subscribers, so this is what the chart looks like. Oh, and if you somehow made it this far, you might be interested in what I plan to do on this channel, and I honestly don't know, I just want to talk about stuff from time to time that I think would be interesting to talk about and that I like to rant about, so I don't know if this will be like manga exclusive, it probably wouldn't be or will not be, but let's see. I don't know what the future holds, so if you had fun, just stick around if you like.